Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ryan. I want to talk about For the Lord RPG vehicle combat again, just because I love it. Now, in the Dark Ages, I don't have vehicle combat, but I do plan on doing the British Navy versus slavers, like in the 18th century, and that'll use vehicle combat, galleons and ships and stuff. So I really want to do that setting as well, and I want to do these settings where Christians in history have been a force for good, even conquistadors going up against the Mayans and Aztecs or whatever in South America and the Caribbean, and ending all that slavery and human sacrifice. See, that's what this is all about. This is about getting Christians to realize that have always been a force for good. We've always fought against slavery and against human deprivation. And pagans have nothing. They got no rules or nothing to counter that. They just pretend the Bible is all evil and they slander the Bible, but it's their own pagan slavery that's been throughout history. So Apostle Apocalypse, Christians in Space, all the same rules. That's I always have all three of them open when I'm sort of editing, and then go back and update the previous, the rules in the previous one if they have the same rules. All the combat, everything, all the actions, all the same. Even the vehicle combat, if I do have one for this. But let's just show you. I want to show you under the Apocalypse vehicle combat, which is really fun. I've been playtesting it, and I haven't uploaded much of the Apostles of the Apocalypse and the Christians of Space shows, because a lot of them were playtesting. So I might just put them on my website in like a members only area. I don't know, but I haven't put them on YouTube because they're very playtesty. But still, I had so much fun, and so the players. So vehicle combat is here, and let's go to Christians of Space vehicle combat, which is here. All right, so Apocalypse, and same thing, same rules. The only difference is the Space one has an additional bit especially for the comms, communications, scanning, detecting, whatever, and then damage in space, like what is vacuum of space kind of stuff. I'm still kind of working on it, but I want to go over vehicle combat again because I'm really excited. I'm going to start getting some games going. I had like severe gout and all these kind of issues for many months and getting over that. But anyway, okay, so I want to show you through the ships. This is how we have space combat in Christians in Space. And vehicle combat doesn't really need these compartments because the vehicles are pretty small, but they still have the same issues here. Same, you can blow up different parts of the vehicle. Okay, so ships in Christians in Space freaking matter, man. You actually have your miniature. These are like dungeon maps. You're literally placing down a dungeon map of your ship, and then the enemy ship. Like if you play this on a table, you would have your ship out as a little dungeon battle map, and then their ship out as a little battle map. And you'd be firing at each other, and you can board. They'll hitch onto you and board your ship. In Christians in Space, nobody likes to destroy ships because of the importance of materials and parts and stuff. So it's the culture is one of boarding. They disable you or you disable them, and then you board, and then you have combat. And most of that combat via tradition is through hand-to-hand combat because of they don't want to blow up the ships. They want to keep the ships intact. That's the most valuable part for pirates and even for the Empire or whatever. Okay, for space pirates, aliens, dreadbots. All right, so these are different basic ships that I put together using the same parts and just rearranged them into what I thought they would look like, kind of simplistically. And look, here's even a starfighter ship right down here. So how does this work? Okay. There's not an initiative roll. Okay, sorry. Before the initiative roll, and I'm going to try to avoid doing most of the game mechanics like DRR and other things. I'll just kind of vaguely explain it. Before you do the actual encounter, the GM, depending on the situation, the GM could do a secret communications roll, which is for both ships. So communications always are always passively pinging to see if there's anything around. And so you roll both of them. The GM will secretly, and then decide who sees who first. So it could be that the pirates, let's say space pirates, see your players first. If you roll high for them, so then they get one surprise attack. Okay, if they roll way above your ships or the players' passive communication. Now, if the players are actively looking around, then you obviously don't need to roll that. They could just be actively doing it, or the space pirates, vice versa. So you kind of have to, if the pirates are actively using their comms, they would get obviously a skill bonus based on whichever pirate is doing the communication or comms, running the comms, and that's just something that you as a GM have to decide story-wise of what's going on. So let's just say it's in a harrowing situation. Everyone's on alert. The pirates are, so are the players. So both can roll a comm, okay? And that comm, as well as the handling comm or handling roll by the pilot, based on how high the number is, will give bonus die to the next action or next roll. That bonus die and the comms and the handling, as you can see here in this ship at the top here, they can work together. You can combine them, or you can have them do separate, add to separate parts. And they're pretty much mixable, but one is a technician and one's a pilot. Because communications can aid a shooter, can aid in the defense of the ship, being hit, like it's jamming the other person's targeting or blurring the ship, or it can be used to scan the other ship and help. Maybe it can help if one of your players wants to target a specific part, which is a little bit harder of a shot, like a penalty, but then that comm can counter that. Stuff like, so it's all this cool stuff where the comm person and the pilot can aid in the next turn's rolls of whoever themselves or other players want to do. Okay, so there's that. Then the ship has a defense. All ships have a defense number, what it takes to hit it. And by the way, the handling trial rating of 12, which is the number you have to beat to get bonuses, and then the defense of 12. These are all based off of a guide. Here, a chart right here. So this chart shows you vehicle guide and spaceship guide. Let's just go with the motorcycle, MB, motorcycle. See, the TR is an 8, trial rating is an 8. So it's a very low number. So it's very easy for you to get a high number to speedily drive around and use, add that bonus to defense. You can add it to your 16 because you're already a high defense. You can add it to your shooting if you want, or that's really all you can do on a motorcycle. I don't know what else you can do. Or you can add it to your next drive test if you have to go over a chasm or whatever, or you're trying to get away. And it shows you your armor save. Everything metal starts off with a D10. It can go to D12 and then it can go even higher if you're military armored. Hull refers to how many hit points your vehicle has, and this relates to human hit points. Yeah, a motorcycle only has 2 hit points, literally, because it is pretty weak. It's the armor save that obviously makes it tougher. It's metal, but think about it. If you are able to pierce through the armor, a motorcycle is pretty fragile. You break off a piece, that thing is useless. So that's it's incapable of driving or whatever. So and then refuels obviously for refueling. Same with ships, same kind of thing here. This is a drone. A starfighter only has 4 hit points. Yeah, 4 hit points. Literally, I know that sounds absurd because you're comparing a human being to a jet fighter. I'm literally comparing to a jet fighter. Sounds weird, but they have a high armor. We don't have any armor, right? We have 0. They have D10. So if they get hit, that automatically the metal absorbs some of that damage. But if something got through, even like a pickaxe got through a jet, through the armor, it could start damaging it pretty badly. And I'm talking about each part. So like the wheel, if I can get through the metal and get in there and just jam up the wheel, the jet is unable to do anything. That's kind of what that 4 hit points refers to. Anyway, so let's go back to the ships. So defense of 12 is how easy or hard it is to hit it. But obviously with handling and the comms, if you get a high roll, you can add that bonus, that extra roll above that number to the defense if you wanted to. Now for comms, the regular TR is 12. That's the default TR, by the way. So if you get above the 12, and then for this one, obviously the handling, the TR is 12. But like I said, for a fighter ship, the TR is only 8. So anything above an 8, so if you get 4. If you get 4 above an 8, you get an extra D4, dice to do other things. If you get 6 above an 8, so 14, then dice props here, and you get a D6, to add to the next roll for whatever, shooting, defense, the other player shooting, missile launch, whatever it is. Then the armor here is armor, just sort of just descriptive here, armor sum, whatever the sum is, little bit of armor. So this ship here, this Raider Scuttleboat, which is like a pirate ship actually, has 12 plus D4. And I consider that's pretty good. That's really good for similar to a tank, or a regular tank. Hull 6, so it's got 6 hit points per part. Okay, and here's the different weapons it has: light laser, so it does D10 damage, far range, auto 3 ammo. That's another rule for it, but it's really fun, man. You get to shoot 3 shots. The first shot is based off of your skill. The other 2 are just random shots, and boy, have they come into play quite a bit. Armor piercing too, and so I'm not going to go through all the different weapon stuff, but it's a lot of fun. It's fun, I'm telling you. Refuel, that's just for when you got to refuel, and you don't do it every time. It's just based off of GM deciding when you run out of fuel, or if you roll like a damaged. If you're damaged and you lose your fuel, then you got to get 6 refueled to start up again. Cargo missiles. Okay, parts is the really important part. You describe what parts you have. And you can even double up like 2 engines, that's kind of like your decision to do. You don't, we don't cost wise or whatever, just, you can kind of fill up, not 3 engines, but you can have like 2 engines if you want, or separate out the engines, like a backup engine. But I would say too, just role-playing wise, if one engine is out, then you have the other engine, but you're at some kind of minus, penalty. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so 12 parts. You have to name out the parts, and the most important part should be at the beginning, generally speaking. You can obviously add in some stuff in between. But then the weaker or more expendable parts go at the end. The reason being is if I hit something on there and I roll randomly, let's just say I shoot, and when you fire at somebody, you roll randomly for the part it hits. Now you can designate a part you want to hit, but then you get a penalty, and then you got to roll a certain number to hit that. And of course, comms can help, reduce that penalty. But let's say I'm going to roll right now, D12, 4. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drive. I hit the drive. We roll for the damage. It's got armor save of 12 plus D4, and the hull is 6. So let's just say I'm using a light laser, D10. So it has a chance of, resisting that damage, and then taking 6. Now, what is the drive? Drive is, for this, it's the exhaust. So if it takes damage, if it goes all the way to 6, the thing's dead in the water. It's just floating there. If you take out an engine or a drive, you're just floating. And so they got to fix it right in the middle of combat. But 2 things happen here. If the hull goes down to 0, then it's inoperable and needs to be fixed, and it's in vacuum of space, so you got to have a spacesuit. And then so that takes you 1 or 2, 3 turns to get your spacesuit on and run over there. You got to run over there to that area, So you're like losing turns as you're getting shot up. And if it takes 4 hull points in 1 turn, it's at minus D4. Okay. Actually, if it goes down to 0, I think the rule is it's at minus D12 automatically. I'm not sure, actually. I gotta look that up. I don't think it does. I think actually it's just 0. Let's just keep it at 0. I don't think it goes to minus D12. If you take 4 hull points, though, you're at minus D for drive. And let's say it still has 2 left. Let's just say it just takes 4 this turn. So take off 4, you only have 2 hit points left, and you're at minus D4 for handling, basically. Because it penalizes the handling because you're flying, you're driving around, and the drive is weaker. So that's how that works. Obviously, when it goes to 0, you can't drive at all. You're piloting. You got to fix it. That's how that works. Hopefully, though, I'll roll again. Let's say I hit the ship again. I roll a 12, so I hit the missiles. So I take out the missiles. I mean, if I get 6 hit points, if I do 6 hull damage. I'll take out the missiles, like the missile launcher. I could roll just to see if the missiles explode, just for the fun of it. But and that would just take out maybe a corridor in the airlock or whatever. And you only got one airlock. Ooh, that's kind of scary looking. Anyway, so like look at here at a fighter ship, TR-8. So this person is going to be flying and having a really easy time getting an extra bonus die to the TR-8 trial rating of 8. And rolling, let's just say they roll a 20. Well, that's 12 above an 8. So you get a D12. You get a D12 to add to defense, shooting, whatever. Because you're flying, you're getting a really good, and the other guys are like, dang, I can't hit this thing. That's how this works. It's really fun. But if they do hit you, one hit wonder, you're out. And that's how this works basically. It's just a lot of fun, really simple. This also works like the same way with vehicles on the ground. Let's see, and I still got to put this same. It's got the same thing, but it's on the ground. Now, I also have rules here, very simple rules for gravcraft, aircraft versus vehicles on the ground. So you have a helicopter, jet, hovercraft, and very simple that the hovercraft gets a plus D4 to everything, shooting, detecting, as long as it's vehicle size. And then if they get hit by the ground vehicle, they what does it say? They take an extra D4 damage. So because they're fragile in the air if they get hit. They also though have a momentum. So every turn they got to roll a D12, and that's how many turns it takes for them to get back into the combat. So these are really meant to be more like NPCs. But if you are in one, you can do it. But you still have to roll the D12 for turns. But you can reduce that through handling or comms, although comms is not much in the Apocalypse one, but it is in the space one. If you roll your handling and that can reduce the amount of turns of air momentum, so that you can start attacking sooner. But it's a hovercraft has that it takes a delay to get realigned and reset up as it's shooting and attacking someone on the ground, because that's just the way I'm doing it. And in other words, you got to be a really good pilot to just stay stationary enough so that you can shoot in the ground things. Whereas if you have to move and dodge a little bit, it takes you a little bit to get back. So anyway, that's the rules for gravcraft. So there is rules for that too. So that's really it. It's really fun. I've play tested this in the Apocalypse one a couple times now. And I play tested this in the Spaceship one a few times, and just a lot of fun. Ships are getting blasted and parts, and people are running around in the ships. So I'm gonna be, getting some games up and running soon, and these are available on my website. I have them in the paywall section, the annual membership area. It's $40 a year. I'm thinking about keeping that, or maybe just selling these individually, for $6.99 or whatever. Like these. They're like 50 pages, 60. Oh, how many pages is this one? This one's, wow, this is 84 pages, and I'm probably going to go a little longer for the Christians in Space one, because I want to build out the galaxy. And then this one right now is 48 pages, the Apostles of the Apocalypse one. And I could build it out some more as well. But yeah, these are my For the Lord RPG games, and they really are meant to help you and your kids and your friends really understand what Christians play. It's role-playing missionary work, but having fun too, doing crazy stuff in space. I want to take these genres and say we Christians can easily do them, keeping a biblical worldview. This entire timeline has Apostles of the Apocalypse. It has Christians in space. It's going to have an alien invasion, still biblical. I don't believe in aliens. I believe it's the atheist regimes have returned back to Earth to attack it. It's going to have horrors in space, like aliens, but it's still biblical. Still, I'm a creation guy. God created life here on Earth only, and then space is for His glory. So life is not meant to be out there. It will not exist out there. There's no aliens. I don't believe in that at all. I mean, if there are aliens, just show us who you are. Stop. I don't want this whole clandestine, secretive blurry photo stuff. Don't believe in it. We already know life cannot form on other planets. We already know that, and life cannot form on Earth. We know that too. I know I'm going into creation now. Just for the fun of it. If you are an organism on this Earth cannot survive unless it's protected. If I have any exposure to the Earth, like a cut or an opening that is not based off of my filtrations here, I will die. So will a seed. So will bacteria. If any of it is opened and exposed to the elements, it will die. So life cannot form without already protective things, right? Even a virus will not last very long, which is RNA, and it will die because of the elements. But I have now this wonderful Christians in Space is just like Star Wars. It has aliens, genetically modified humans and animals, all on terraformed planets. So mine makes way more sense than Star Trek or Star Wars. Way more sense, more logical, science adherent, biology adherent. Terraforming. Little craziness in that sense, but science theories, but still plausible compared to what their evolution, random pagan stuff. All right, so please, for your own missionary edification, fellowship with your family, your kids, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, and then with friends, this game is meant for you. It's meant to replace Dungeons and Dragons and all these RPGs that are pagan and pushing paganism and pushing how we do adventure. I want to show you that Christians can have fun doing adventure, yet having sort of this fun missionary goofy feel to it, and also exposing paganism, exposing the absurdity of it all in history and in human nature. Just as I play silly pagans in all of these, Christians in Space, the Apostles of the Apocalypse one, and in the Dark Ages, and what pagans do, the absurdities of their belief systems. Anyway, okay, that's it. Thanks for listening, watching. I'll keep doing some more and just having fun doing this.